Paul from Ball here. We're back with a new season of the UFO Podcast. And today, our guest is a young prodigy, a new kid on the block, but she's coming onto the scene in a very influential role as the new president of Phoenix Chapelton Maroons, Kaycie Butler. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and Kaycie, for anybody watching this right now that isn't familiar with you, doesn't know you, what's one thing that you don't want them to remember about you from this interview?
Humble. For sure, humble. Because a lot of people, see my environment and see the atmosphere that surrounds me and Phoenix and everything and wouldn't necessarily take that. But that's something I want to bring forward to the table. For sure.
Even though you haven't been at the forefront, over the years, I feel like a lot of people know of Kaycie Butler through your family,
My dad,
Yeah, what your father, Craig Butler, your brother Kyle Butler, as well as Leon Bailey's exploits. Do you feel like people have judged you without actually getting to know you?
Yes, 100%. But I also feel like that's a given, I said this previously. People don't always believe from the get-go. Sometimes I have to actually see what you're capable of. However, I know what I'm capable of, so I'm comfortable. But I have always been there. I've grown up around football. The people I love most have been involved in football. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen what it can do for people's lives, and I've been to a lot of the most popular and most influential clubs around the world, I would say. I was there during Manning Cup. I've always been right there, I would say. So, it's just now that I'm really stepping into this role.
Tell me about some of the clubs that you've been to, some of the players you've met and what you've learned from them, and like just traveling in general, seeing how they operate outside of Jamaica, the type of influence that has had on you, and how you're going to bring that knowledge now to translate into your role as the new president to kind of elevate not just Phoenix but the sport locally.
Right. So from a managerial perspective, I've been involved in the sport since I was about 11 years old, and since then we've interacted with numerous clubs across mainland Europe and the UK. So think Bayer Leverkusen, Atletico de Madrid, Barcelona, and many, many more. Just this past year, we played against Aston Villa, we played against Chelsea, we played against Preston, Blackburn Rovers, Sheffield United, and throughout this experience, I've had the pleasure of interacting with a lot of prominent agents such as George Mendes, Penny Zahavi, Uncle Demi, Dimitri de Conde over at Genk. And so I've established a lot of strong relationships over the past few years, and I think that kind of exposure and those kind of contacts would really bring a lot of diversity and a lot of strength to the club and to Jamaican football overall.
George Mendes, that's Ronaldo's
Ronaldo,
agent. Yeah, that's huge, man. That's huge. Yeah. Most people dream to meet people like that, So
exactly.
You're already
exactly
one up. So you said you've been around football for a long time, but what's your earliest memory of actually, actively being involved in the sport of football?
Well, it would be being a toddler on the field, barefooted, I drink a Pepsi with my father and Chippy them, and just that's my earliest memory.
So you play ball? You play ball?
I did a little bit. I dabbled in it a bit in school, and for the Phoenix Girls All-Stars team, I was involved for a little bit, but I would say I prefer the managerial and the presidential side of it for sure.
Okay, so which position?
Striker.
Striker?
Yeah.
You did good as a striker?
I would say so. Kind of weak, but,
All right.
I'd say I was good.
So if your journey in football so far was a movie, what would the title be?
Movie.
Would it be a thriller? A romance?
Coming of age. Definitely coming of age.
All right.
Definitely. Because not even just for me, but for the people around me, because I've really grown up with a lot of these people. Whisper, everybody, I've grown up with them. So I would say it's really about everybody kind of stepping into their role and growing into themselves.
Honestly, how do you feel coming into this role? Because you're 18, right?
Yeah, I'm 18.
I mean, that's a young age. It's a young age to be assuming the role, of president How you feel about that?
Honestly, I know there's a lot of expectations that's a given. I know there's a lot I have to live up to, essentially, especially because of my father and what he has achieved and everything. But to be honest, I feel very composed. I know what I'm capable of, and I really know what I want to do. I know what I want to get out of this experience, and I know what I want to do with my life. So all I have to do is really just carry that out.
Even coming from a football family, was there ever a time that, you thought probably I won't go into football, maybe I'll try something else, or was it always, I want to continue this legacy of football?
It's important to note that I don't want to necessarily do football alone. Like, this will be my main profession, I would say, but I've always had aspirations of going into law. So actually, I'm supposed to go off to law school next year, probably overseas, probably here, I'm not sure. But, a lot of different things. I also own a makeup business with my mother. So I would say I wear many hats, and I intend to go into a lot of different things. So, I don't really limit myself to one thing, but I would say this is definitely at the epicenter of everything.
Oh, okay, nice. You unplug that, the makeup?
Yeah, sure. So it's at the Muse Cosmetics JA on Instagram.
All right, nice. And tell me a little bit more about your background. You say, you're planning to study law. Where did you go to school?
Okay, so I went to Peter and Paul for prep school, right up to grade 6. Then I graduated and went to Andrews up to 5th form. And then I went to Hillel for 6th form. I just graduated. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So a good mix of everything, I would say.
Yeah. What was high school like for you?
It was interesting. Specifically at Andrews. I had a lot of friends, but then COVID came in, and then, the whole thing kind of got thrown off, and then going back and learning how to acclimatize again, and it was an interesting experience, I'd say, overall. But Hillel was good, I would say. It was very different to the public school system, because it's not like your regular average 6th form. It's a lot more demanding, and there's a lot more things that you have to achieve in order to get the actual diploma. So it was a lot, but glad I overcame that.
Was it a case of like going to school, people knew you through your family? Did that affect school? Like the way how...
Socially?
Yeah, exactly.
If we're being real, I would say yes, because people kind of judge before they really get to know you, as we were speaking about. So people would kind of assume I'm, stuck up or hype or something like that, and I'm really not. If you know me, I'm really one of the most down-to-earth people. Like, from afar, I may look that way, but, I'm calm. I'm cool. I think I'm a very cool person.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kaycie, I mean, in a male-dominated sport, and being as young as you are, coming into it right now, what kind of impact do you, think you can have, hope to have, on Jamaican football?
To be honest, I strive to have an impact globally, because when I'm doing things, I don't like to limit myself, as I said. So I don't really like to put myself in retrospect of just Jamaica. You understand? So essentially, I would really want to just change this pre-existing belief that, okay, only males can dominate a certain field, only men can, be successful as agents or as managers or as presidents or even as footballers. Female footballers are severely underpaid, I would say.
Yeah. And not just in Jamaica, like...
Yeah, globally. So I really want to be a key element in changing that story.
Phoenix has a women's team as well.
Yes, we do.
All right, so talk to me a little bit about that aspect, because I don't really think a lot of people know that, the guys venture into women's football as well.
Right, we 100% do. 100% are open to women. We have an entire women's team, a very good one, I would say. And, we really just formed it last year. So it's still building. So anybody who may be interested to come and try out, you can come. We represent female players, so you may get opportunities that similar to that of Leon Bailey and whatever. Come, try out, we're open.
I don't know how much you listen to what people say on social media and all that, but you know, people, there's a narrative that, oh, you know, you're very young, you know, as well as you're a woman.
Mhm.
So, you know, there's a question: how suited are you for the role of president? You know, at this stage, and like, even though you come from a football background, the family and all that, you know, people have the question: does Kaycie Butler, you know, really know about football? Is she the right person for this role? I mean, what would you say to somebody who, you know, questions your competence?
To be honest, I'd humbly say I'm just as competent as any grown man currently, just because of what I have been exposed to. Just last year, I led a tour with over 40 players, I would say, myself and Kyle and Ricky, who you may know. And we led them. It was a successful tour. We had many matches. We played Aston Villa, we played Preston, we played many more all over the UK. So I would say I am very competent. I know what I'm talking about. As I said, I've really grown up in this sport, and I've also grown as a person in this sport. This sport is very fundamental to my being in itself. So I would say I'm just as competent, if not more, than somebody else, as any other person.
Yeah, because I mean, out of the experiences that you have had, you know,
Many people.
internationally going over to Europe, a lot of coaches, players in Jamaica can't say that they have the same experience.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite? Which club or country that you've been to that you say that was probably your favorite?
All right. them good for different things. So like Spain, I really loved because I think I was about 12 at the time. And I remember my dad took me shopping for like the whole day. Spain has great shopping, so that's one thing. And then we went to an Atletico match to watch people play in the Champions League, and it was overall a very good, like very vibrant experience. But in terms of like actual playing, I would say my favorite experience thus far is when we went on the 2021 UK trip, and we scored I think 3 that match. We're under about 3-4 love, something like that. And Chippy gave us a halftime talk, and we ended up coming back winning 7-4. So yeah,
All right.
very memorable. Yeah. Yes. Villa.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So it's experiences like that, that make me realize like I really am competent and I'm fit for this role, and I know that I can carry this out. Like I'm sure.
You feel like you can handle the pressure? Because I know Jamaican football fans tough, you know.
I'm well aware. I've been to the VAR matches and hear what they must say, but I'm good. I understand how it may look or how it may seem because, as you said, I am a woman. I'm very young. Most 18-year-olds do not do what I do. Most 18-year-olds are, having fun and, I live them life.
The maddest life.
Yeah, maddest life, as I'm going to say. But I believe in balance, and I believe that you can do more than one thing at once. You can be more than one thing at once. And I just want to communicate that. And I just want to, well, I wouldn't say prove myself because I already know what I'm capable of. But you guys will see. You will see. That's all I can say.
As the president, you're the leader of the whole organization now. You're taking over the mantle. Can we expect that you'll move the whole Phoenix charge in a different kind of direction? Or is it like more of the same legacy, philosophy? Or are you trying to bring your own brand to the academy, the club now? What are you thinking?
Well, my dad's an exemplary leader. And, he's built a great legacy thus far. And he continues to. But I definitely will add my own personal twist. For example, I want to go into more charity, more community-driven things, so as to make a deeper impact directly in that way. And, just overall modernization. But I believe the fundamentals are still there, still the same Phoenix morals, I would say. So same principles, just a modern twist.
Last season, Phoenix took over VAR. And that season...
It was a management agreement, by the way.
All right. Tell me more about that.
So what we're doing now is an acquisition, meaning we will assume full control over this club. Prior to that, it was more of a management agreement, but how do I say it? I wouldn't say we would have assumed as much control as we would now. So I believe this season will be more successful and more overall efficient because we have one body going towards one goal. So we're all on the same page, if you understand what I'm saying.
I get what you mean.
But there, it's all love for them. We deeply appreciate them. We deeply have love for them, and we really wish them the best. And I know they'll do well.
So you guys are no longer affiliated with where?
No, not as of right now.
Oh, okay. You say everybody's working towards one goal, one aim.
What is the goal?
What is the goal for this season?
First of all, unity. You know, the goal is to really mesh our community with their community and make it one. And speaking in regards to the team, the players in itself, and the community overall, and just really making it one, making it a family, I would say, and just making that impact. And then further to that, of course, it's success on the field. You know, you're not going to enter into a competition and want to lose. So, but I think the social aspect and the synergy is essential first to really have that success on the field. So yeah, that's what we're working towards. And I believe it's going to take some time to build, but I believe that if we are one and we're unified in our approach, that we can be much better and much quicker in our successes.
So why Clarendon? Why Clarendon again with no Chapelton? What's the reason behind that?
Well, we would have had, you know, a certain level of experience with Veer. Further to that, the players in Clarendon have great potential. And yeah, we sort of just want to just build on that potential.
Tell me about some of the new signings and like the recruitment process. And who should we, look out for this season in terms of like a potential, star player?
A lot of the same ones are being Gordon.
Because he's back.
Kaycie Gordon. There's Geronimo Herrera Taborda coming in from Colombia. There's Marcus Ross. He was a player at very last season. You can look out for him. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seeing players coming from Brazil and Colombia to play in the Jamaica Premier League, that's kind of huge, you know?
It is. It is objectively, yes.
Yeah. So, how do you guys, want to pull those players? When you sit them down and you show them the project and you say this is the goal, how you convince, players to come play in the Jamaica Premier League?
I would say the work definitely speaks for itself because, I don't believe we really have to prove anything at this point in the humblest way possible. I don't believe so. I think that we've done a bigger or a more significant job in terms of Jamaican football and exposure than anybody else currently, if you understand. I think we've made a much wider impact, so to speak.
Okay, through like the work, with the players before, like
Leon, Dejan, Kyle, the many others over in Malta. A lot of people don't know that there's many players. It's not just Leon and Dejan. There's many more across the board that have been a product of our institution.
So what's something about local football, that the fans don't see, but they probably should know? Like a misconception or something that if they knew that this is how it actually works behind the scenes, they would, think about and have a different perspective on the whole game.
Overall administration and logistics. Because if that is not done properly, then you'll likely not perform. You will not, no matter what. Everybody has to be on the same page. Everything has to be organized, and that's one thing that I personally will take charge of stepping into this new acquisition. Organization and a system and structure. That's one thing, for sure.
If you could take over as a president for Jamaica Premier League for one day, what would you do? What's the first thing you'd change? Yeah, some other benefit, not just Phoenix, but the whole league.
Definitely subsidize nutrition because I think that's so important. And a lot of the players, I would say, come from certain communities that, may not be so economically advanced, so to speak. And so a lot of them don't get the correct or the necessary nutrition to really be their best players on the field and to really play to their strengths, so to speak. So I think if they implemented that, of course, and yeah.
Is that something that you guys do here at Phoenix?
Yes.
In terms of supporting the players? So I want to know, how much support do you actually give the players, Because locally we know a lot of players don't get that much support, as you say. A lot of them have to, man, them have to be training and have to have a job on the side. So, like,
Exactly.
as a footballer, you train how many times a week, then you have to think about, going and working to provide for your family and all them things. That takes away from,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so how much support you guys actually give the players so that them can actually just focus on the football?
Okay, so a lot of people don't know we actually cover their housing and we cover utilities, meaning grocery, everything, and as well as food, especially on matches. So everything is covered essentially. They're well taken care of. And I think more clubs really need to implement that kind of, care.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, in terms of, like, how we present the league, because, the personal branding of the players, because I feel like locally that's what the sport probably missing. We don't have no superstars of people say, me I go, like how you say, me I go a reggae boys much for go watch a Chippy, or me I go for watch Damarai Gray, whoever, Blakey, most of the time me I go on Premier League match, me I say, I on it, me I go for watch, or whoever. Me not say, me I go watch a specific player.
Yeah.
So how important is it for us to, like, build those superstars? Is me give them the exposure, give them the media training, that type of stuff, to create superstars, not just on the field, but in a sense, we are sell jerseys off the field as well.
I feel like it's essential in terms of professionalism, and I feel like we really owe the players that, because they're putting a lot out on the field when they go and they execute. So it's like making the JPL overall a much more marketable platform, and just giving it that exposure and giving these players these means of exposure, so as to, maybe after this they can go on to be successful players at Aston Villa, like that's how Chippy. So I think it's very crucial, and also the nutrition of the players is very important, because we take care of our players a great deal. Their housing is covered, their meals are covered, match day meals are covered, transportation, all sorts of logistics, gear, everything, we cover it all. So I really hope for certain clubs to really implement that sort of care and that sort of paternalistic leadership style.
Okay. Do you guys give your players media training?
Yes, we do actually. We're especially in recent years, because social media is a lot bigger now and it continues to grow. So we're really focused on image projection, and that's another thing I really think we need to work on as Jamaicans on a whole. It's image projection and carrying yourself as a whole. Learning how to speak in front of a camera, that's very important, especially if you want to go far, because interviews are essential. You can't avoid them.
Yeah. Because I believe that everybody has a story, and if you don't tell your own story,
exactly,
what's
people
gonna
make them
happen?
own a conclusion.
Exactly. Somebody else is gonna tell it to you, and I'm gonna tell a different story.
And how you're perceived is sometimes your reality. That's what people treat you as.
Yeah.
So
Definitely,
crucial.
definitely. Your identity is really how you're perceived. It might not be who you really are.
Yeah, you might believe you're a certain person on the inside, but if you're constantly communicating one thing and that person can attest to that sort of projection, then you need to look at yourself and your identity, cause
Exactly. Because you might feel like, I'm nice, but you might ask your friends, what do you think about Kaycie? And I'm saying, Kaycie kind of mean. Yeah, Kaycie, that's a bit of work on the street. Yeah, so, yeah, you're right, it's important.
Yeah.
Right now, we're going to have the UFO segment, sponsored by 77. Big up with sponsors for this season of the UFO podcast. You know, them always keep the vibes and the energy high. So, I really want to know, Kaycie, what's your UFO?
My UFO.
Yeah, your UFO is your unpopular football opinion.
I believe Messi is a more complete player than Ronaldo.
Yeah, tell me more.
Yeah. I don't know. I believe he's more well-rounded. You know, if in regards to like scoring goals and like overall tenacity, I would say Ronaldo is up there. But in terms of intelligence and playmaking and finishing, I feel like Messi is the better player. Well, the more rounded player,
Oh,
so
okay.
to speak.
So a team Messi.
What about you? What do you think?
No, I want to go to Leo Messi. No, mine, me, I go as far as to say Ronaldo's biggest achievement is being compared to Messi, you know.
Boy,
Me, I'll go as far as to say that, at the end of the day.
it's a bit controversial.
Uh,
One thing, but I really admire Ronaldo as a player though. He's an exemplary example. You know, his discipline is really up there. No tattoos on him.
the
You see that?
professionalism.
Clean
Yeah,
cut,
yeah,
very,
yeah,
you know, very disciplined, very... He's a great player, honestly.
Yeah, me,
Undeniable.
yeah, me don't forget Ronaldo that over Messi, you know. He's a hard worker, the discipline. I feel like that's what really, you know, make him achieve so much in the game.
Yeah.
No, man, we rate Ronaldo, man, but, you know, anybody who know football knows that Messi better.
But, I mean, you have to give them both their props. They've shared that stage for a long time, and they're both exemplary. Both of them. And also, I don't always think it's fair to compare players because one can play his position, one can play the next position. Like, you know, like certain characteristics and traits. My dad always says, play to your strengths, you know. So you can be a super intelligent player. You can be, you know, very explosive. So, you know.
Outside of football, you know, what kind of stuff does Kaycie Butler enjoy doing?
I love to drive. I love cars.
Like race? Or just drive?
I drive.
Drive fast.
I drive. I love cars. I love driving. I also love actually watching football. I think it's very entertaining. I really love how it brings people together. Like, there's nothing I enjoy more than Manning Cup and the Premier League, actually, because it's just vibes, the energy, and everybody around you is just so,
Yeah,
you know, ecstatic and excited, and, you know.
Which team you support?
What? JPL?
Premier League. English Premier League.
Anyway, JPL, whisper them, man.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, so he's an Aston Villa fan.
I'm a Villa fan, and I'm a Chelsea fan right now.
Alright. Who's your favorite artist right now?
I listen to different genres. So I wouldn't say I have an overall favorite. But right now, I like Gunna.
Alright, so Gunna for sure. I put in the position of a baller. Pre-match playlist. You want to get another zone. What type of songs did I have in your playlist? 3 songs.
Alright. So 350 by Lil Baby, One of One by Gunna, and one more. Let me think. I'm not sure you know this, but it's New Person, Same Mistakes by Tame Impala. So as I say, it's a very, like, my music taste is very diverse. Like, I don't listen to one genre alone.
You're right, but I know that one.
Yeah, you don't.
You can give a little piece, right?
Niche. What?
Yeah.
We can't sing, you know. So I'm gonna flap myself. I know my area.
We're not singing. Football team we deal with, you know,
like,
but, you know.
You can look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up.
I'm going to look it up after the interview. You sure you're not give a piece, though?
Nah.
Alright.
Nah, I'm good.
You listen to dancehall?
A bit.
What's your favorite dancehall song right now?
Probably Fight For Us by Massacre.
Oh, big.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, kind of wrap it up now.
Alright.
So, what message do you have for the fans this season? What do you want them to know?
For sure, I just really want them to know that we're coming to really build on what you already have. We're coming to create a beautiful dynamic and a relationship with you. You know, we've chosen to have all of our matches over at Turner Park. So we're really inviting all of you guys to come out and support us. You know, we're building a family here. We're very excited to see all of you. And I intend to do a great deal of charity as well. That's been something very dear to me. So now as the president, you can expect a lot of that from me. And I'm just very excited to see all of you guys. Please come out and support us. You know, it's one family, one dream, and one motive at the end of the day. So, just come out.
Kaycie, where the people can find you on social media?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Kaycie Butler, but replace the L in Butler with a 1. So Kaycie But 1er. You understand? Then you can find me on TikTok at just Kaycie Butler, no caps. And yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Kaycie. Thanks
Thank you
for.
for having me.
We have a whole heap of exclusive interviews and reasonings forward in this season on the UFO podcast. So make sure you guys stay tuned. The next episode are gonna be crazy as well. But until then, that is it.